Ladies and gentlemen, in a world where everyone is eager to be seen, where success is measured by likes, shares, and constant validation, we often forget a simple truth. Real greatness is built when no one is watching. The loudest voices aren't always the most successful, and the ones who seek attention at every step rarely achieve anything lasting. The people who make the biggest impact aren't the ones talking about their work, they're the ones doing it. They're the ones grinding in the dark, putting in the hours, refining their craft, and staying patient while the rest of the world rushes for quick results. This year, 2025, is not the year to prove yourself to others. It's the year to prove yourself to yourself. It's the year to let go of distractions, embrace the silence, and trust that your work will speak for itself. Because when you commit to the process, when you stay disciplined, and when you focus on building instead of boasting, the results won't just be good, they'll be undeniable. As we step into 2025, the world grows louder. Social media, opinions, and the constant noise of comparison demand our attention. Everyone wants to be seen, recognized, and validated. But let me tell you something. Real success doesn't come from noise. It comes from the work no one sees. It comes from the early mornings, the late nights, the silent battles you fight within yourself. The ones who make the biggest impact aren't the ones announcing their every move. They are the ones building, refining, and perfecting their craft when no one is watching. They trust the process, knowing that mastery is not about applause, but about effort. If you seek validation for every step you take, you risk being distracted from the real mission. Think of the greatest minds, the strongest leaders, and the most resilient creators. They did not spend their energy proving themselves to the world before their time. They worked. They failed in private. They learned. And when they finally emerged, their work spoke so loudly that the world had no choice but to take notice. So this year, make a decision. A decision to let go of the need for immediate recognition. A decision to trade performance for progress. A decision to work hard in silence, knowing that the results will speak for themselves. Because in the end, it's not about how many people see your effort. It's about the undeniable impact of what you create. True impact comes from discipline, not display. The most successful people focus on the work itself, not on proving they are working. There's a difference between looking like you're making progress and actually making progress. In a world where it's easy to showcase effort, many people get caught up in the performance of hard work rather than the work itself. They spend more time curating an image of success than actually building something of substance. But real success isn't measured in how many people acknowledge your effort. It's measured in results. Discipline is the foundation of every meaningful achievement. It's showing up when no one is clapping. It's doing the work when there's no reward in sight. It's choosing consistency over motivation, because motivation fades, but discipline keeps you moving. Those who truly succeed don't wake up each day thinking about how to be seen working. They wake up thinking about how to improve, how to refine, how to become better than they were yesterday. Think about the people who have changed the world, not just those who are famous, but those who have built legacies. They were not the ones constantly broadcasting their grind. They were in the trenches, making things happen, day after day, without the need for immediate recognition. Their discipline became their advantage. While others sought validation, they sought mastery. While others needed applause to keep going, they kept going despite the silence. The temptation to show your effort is strong. You want people to know you're putting in the hours. You want them to see how hard you're working. But every moment spent proving yourself is a moment taken away from actually improving yourself. And when the time comes, when your work finally speaks, it will be undeniable. Not because you told everyone about it, but because it will stand on its own. Mastery is built in silence. The hours you put in when no one is watching will define the quality of your success. Greatness isn't crafted in the spotlight. It's forged in the quiet moments when no one is there to witness the struggle. It's in the early mornings before the world wakes up, the late nights when exhaustion tempts you to quit, and the lonely hours spent refining your craft when there's no applause, no recognition, no external reward. This is where mastery takes shape, not in the performance of effort, but in the relentless pursuit of excellence when no one is watching. We live in a world that glorifies instant results. People want to be seen winning before they've put in the work to deserve it. They want to skip the grind, bypass the discipline, and arrive at success without enduring the process. But mastery doesn't work that way. It demands patience. It demands repetition. It demands a commitment to improvement, even when no one is there to validate your progress. Think about the greatest athletes, the most brilliant artists, the most respected leaders. They didn't arrive at the top because they chased attention. They arrived there because they fell in love with the process. They spent years, sometimes decades, practicing, failing, learning, and refining, not because they were being watched, but because they knew that true skill is developed in the unseen moments. Silence is where the real work happens. It's where you battle self-doubt, push past your limits, and develop the habits that separate you from everyone else. Most people won't understand why you keep going when there's no immediate reward. They won't see the countless hours, the sacrifices, the frustration, and the small victories along the way. But that's the point. Mastery isn't about being seen working, it's about doing the work until the results speak louder than anything you could ever say. Perfection is a distraction. Seeking approval at every step shifts your focus from long-term growth to short-term applause. The moment you start chasing validation, you stop chasing excellence. Instead of focusing on becoming truly great at what you do, you focus on looking great in the eyes of others. And that is where many people go wrong, not because they lack talent, but because they let the need for approval dictate their actions. Think about it. When you constantly seek validation, your energy is no longer directed toward growth, it's directed toward perception. You start making choices based on what will get the most recognition, the most likes, the most praise, not what will make you better. You rush the process, cutting corners to gain quick acknowledgement rather than committing to the slow, difficult work of mastery. And while validation might feel good in the moment, it doesn't last. It fades, forcing you to seek it again and again, creating a cycle where your progress depends on external approval rather than internal commitment. True growth requires the courage to move forward without applause. The best in any field do not stop to ask for permission to continue. They are not distracted by who notices their efforts. They do the work because they are driven by something deeper, by a desire to improve, to push their own limits, to create something meaningful that stands the test of time. They understand that the reward isn't in the applause along the way, but in the undeniable results that come from years of relentless effort. Validation can be a powerful motivator, but it is also a dangerous trap. If you rely on it too much, you give others control over your progress. You let their opinions dictate your path, and worse, you risk stopping short of your true potential because you are too busy proving yourself instead of improving yourself. Your work should speak for itself. When the results are undeniable, you won't need to explain them. People will see them. We live in a time where people feel the need to announce every step of their journey. They talk about their goals before they've taken the first step. They seek recognition before they've built something worth recognizing. And they explain their ambitions instead of proving them through action. But real achievement does not need a spokesperson. It does not need constant justification. It stands on its own. The greatest work, the kind that lasts, the kind that impacts people, the kind that changes industries, is built in silence and revealed when it's ready. It doesn't demand attention, it commands it. Because when you've truly put in the work, when you've poured everything into becoming great at what you do, no one needs to be convinced. The results speak for themselves, and results are impossible to ignore. Think about the people who have made history. They didn't spend their time explaining why they were working hard. They simply did the work, and when the world finally saw it, there was no debate. That's the power of undeniable results. They remove the need for explanation, persuasion, or validation. Too many people waste time trying to prove they are on the right path instead of walking it. They justify their journey before they've reached the destination. But here's the truth. If you are constantly explaining your worth, your work isn't strong enough yet. If you are constantly defending your progress, your results don't speak loudly enough yet. The answer is not to talk more, it's to work more. Because when you have something truly valuable, something truly exceptional, the world will take notice on its own, not because you told them to, but because what you've built is simply too great to ignore. Patience is power. Great achievements take time, and those who stay committed in the shadows are the ones who shine the brightest. We live in an age of urgency. Everyone wants success now. They want to skip the struggle, bypass the waiting, and arrive at greatness overnight. But the reality is, nothing truly valuable is built that way. Every masterpiece, every innovation, every legacy is the result of time, effort, and an unwavering commitment to the process. Those who understand this, those who embrace patience, are the ones who ultimately rise above the rest. Patience is not about waiting and hoping. It's about trusting the process and staying consistent even when there are no immediate results. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, refining your craft, and believing that the effort you invest now will pay off later. The greatest achievements are not the product of sudden breakthroughs, but of countless hours spent in preparation. When success finally arrives, it looks like it happened overnight. But in reality, it was years in the making. Think of an iceberg. What people see above the surface is only a fraction of what exists. The true foundation, the massive structure that holds everything together, is hidden beneath the water. That's how real success works. The results people admire, the talent, the skills, the achievements, are just the tip of the iceberg. The years of practice, the failures, the discipline, and the patience, that's what lies beneath. That's what truly makes someone great. Most people give up too soon. They get frustrated when progress is slow. They look around and see others achieving quick wins, and they start questioning their own path. But the ones who succeed are those who resist that urge. They are the ones who understand that slow growth is still growth, that setbacks are part of the journey, and that the most powerful results come from years of quiet, relentless effort. The world rewards patience. It rewards those who don't rush, who don't seek shortcuts, who are willing to stay in the shadows long enough to build something extraordinary. And when their time comes, when they finally step into the light, they don't just shine, they illuminate everything around them. So as you move forward, ask yourself, are you working for attention or are you working for mastery? Are you chasing quick applause or are you building something that will stand the test of time? Because in the end, the loudest voices fade, the trends disappear, and the noise dies down. But those who commit to the work in silence, they are the ones who create something so powerful, so undeniable, that the world has no choice but to take notice. And when that moment comes, when your results speak louder than any words ever could, you won't need to say a thing.